One of the most difficult questions I ever get asked is when somebody's heard a couple of Prince songs, really liked them, and then questions, where do I go next? What should I listen to now? I was incredibly lucky in my Prince journey as I was initiated rather heavy and quick, to borrow a phrase from Prince, and after discovering Prince, a friend of a friend supplied me with a small bounty of the released albums and a few outtakes to whet my appetite. Things were never really quite the same again, and it started me on a lifelong journey appreciating Prince's work. Entering the world of Prince can for some people almost seem a little daunting, as there are so many albums by Prince in various configurations available, and what might enthrall one person, another person may not really connect to at all. Every track in the Prince catalogue is someone's own favourite. Writing in GQ, J.S. Saxena makes the point that it can be intimidating asking someone really into Prince about advice. She writes, "Prince creates experts. Anyone who is so prolific, so influential and so mysterious seems to conjure analysts and superfans and informal documentarians left and right. There are people who know more about Prince than I do, who have sought every bootleg, who have meticulously tracked every collaboration and side project." Jay continues, "But Prince isn't about competition. Prince is about uniting people, making enough music that everyone has something to latch onto." This is a point that the writer Scott Woods also amplifies. Prince fans operate the same way any other type of fan operates. Very few of us are degreed musicologists approaching new albums with the slavering drill of an academic. We instead attach distinct and personal memories to songs, where we heard them, what we were doing whilst we listened to them, who were we with, what we thought of them. So where does this leave us? I asked around, and here are some of the ideas that people put forward. Some argue that the best place to start was simply a collection of hits which gave a strong flavour of Prince's more commercial tracks. If there was nothing that set the listener on fire listening to those, then, well, perhaps their music gene was malfunctioning a little. Even this first option is a little more complicated. Do you direct them to the hits collection, one or two, or both? Do you include the B-sides? Do you advise them to grab Ultimate Prince, the very best of Prince, or Forever? Others told me that they would dig down and find out what type of music the person already liked, what genre, and this would inform their choices. If they liked jazz, show them Rainbow Children or the One Night Alone era. Were they into heavy guitar tracks such as Dreamer or the Undertaker Project? Was it pop that got their groove on? If so, the choices are wide for Prince's work. R&B, rap, reggae, it's all there. Other people said that there was no need to make it complicated. Simply choose one standout album, such as Purple Rain, Sign of the Times, or The Gold Experience, and they would find the genius of Prince simply irresistible. It is pretty difficult, as no album can ever really display the true extraordinary range of Prince's work fully, although admittedly, Sign of the Times does come close. One friend stated that there was only one way to introduce a new Prince inductee, and that was to give them every album, in order, with a little background to it, and allow them to see the development, exploration and the full journey of Prince. Yet another person made a strong case that all they would do was to show anyone interested in Prince a live performance, where many different songs would appear, as it would not only introduce many varied songs to them, but also show them the greatest live performer of all at work. Even then, which tour do you show them? Is one possibility just to show them the Purple Rain movie? Is the answer in the internet age simply to get them to spend a few hours on the official Prince YouTube page? I even connected with someone who had only discovered Prince's music after he left us through a tribute magazine, which he had used as a kind of guide to his work, and by reading it and picking out albums that interested him and tracking them down. Possibly my favourite piece of advice was from someone who simply stated, with a brief nod to Wendy and Lisa, "It doesn't matter where you dip your toe in. The water's warm enough everywhere." So what would be your advice to a newcomer to Prince when they turn to you and ask, in this vast body of work, where do I begin? I would love to hear your thoughts.